Hi everyone, so today I want to show you how to draw a pumpkin, and after you draw your pumpkin I'm going to show you how to create a crayon wax resist. All you need is crayons and watercolor paints. If you don't have watercolor paints, that's okay. I will show you a technique in the video on how to turn marker into watercolor paint. Happy creating, guys! So the first thing I want to show you is how to draw our pumpkin. And what you're going to need to draw your pumpkin is just crayons. And the reason we're using crayons is because they have wax in them. And what happens when we use paint on top of wax is it does what's called a resist. So it says, "Get away from me, paint." And it doesn't allow the paint to go where the crayons are. So you can make your pumpkin any color you'd like. I'm going to go with just a traditional orange because that's when I see most pumpkins being that color. So what we want to do in the middle of our page, and I have the long side facing up so it's going horizontal, we want to draw a long, tall, skinny oval. So this becomes the center of our pumpkin. Then off of our oval near the top left, we're going to start doing half circles to make our pumpkin bigger. So we're going to do a half circle here and connect it around. And then we're going to do another half circle here and make your pumpkin bigger. What you do on the left side, you're also going to do on the right side. So we're going to do another half circle connecting that pumpkin, and then another half circle connecting there as well. On the top, I'm going to add a little stem, and I'm going to do green for that. Usually our stem has a little loop, and I'm going to add some color in there as well. Perfect. So it's starting to look like an actual pumpkin. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add lines and shapes inside my sections of my pumpkin. So you can really start to design this pumpkin however you would like. So I'm going to do curvy lines here. And I'll do a line in the middle. And I think I'm going to change up the color. So I'm going to do purple next. You can add whatever lines and whatever designs you would like using any color that you would like. You can also use white for this project. So if you have a white in your crayon box, go ahead and use it. The hardest part is being able to see where the white goes. But when we add our paint, you will see what comes up in that white section, which is really cool. So I'm going to add, we'll do dots in this next section. So you're thinking about different lines and different shapes. And I need one more color. I know this section's filled in, that's where I did the white. Let's do blue. And I will do some stripes. So I'm just adding those details into my pumpkin. Perfect. So for the painting part, you want to use what you have at home. If you have watercolor paints, those work really nice. These are a special tempera paint that work just like the watercolors. But you can also use the technique where you turn your marker into paint as well. So use what you have at home. I also have a water cup nearby. And I also have my paintbrush nearby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting over the wax of the crayon. And what it does is it creates what's called a resist. This is what I was talking about earlier where it says, "Get away from me, paint." So I'm using these tempera paints. Like I said too, use what you have at home. If you have watercolors or this special tempera, you want to add a little bit of water to it, and then it turns into a paint. And what's cool is you can see where the crayon still shows through. So I'm going to start just painting in my pumpkin. Adding all of that bright, bold, beautiful color. And I'm just painting in my pumpkin. So I'm going to switch over to my watercolors just so you can see what that looks like as well on my right side of my pumpkin. So I'm adding a little water. In this space you can see, it looks like I didn't draw anything, but look, check out how cool this is. I use this white crayon in this section, and when I go over it with the paint, the crayon says, don't touch me. It resists it. It says, no way, Jose, you're not painting on me. So you can see those lines I did with that white crayon, which is pretty cool. And let's do green. Got 2 sections of green. So you're just gonna paint in your section. Perfect. So if you don't have either of these paints, I'm going to show you in this middle section how to turn marker into paint. So if you just take your marker, and I'm going to use red for example, you can just color around the outside, and the crayon almost resists the marker as well too. So do a big circle around the outside of that marker. And then, similar to what we've done before, both in school and online, you can just add water to that marker, and it turns it into a very light shade of the paint. And it almost gives it a tie-dye effect. So if you want to use paint, you can use paint, or you can use this technique with the marker in the water. And then last but not least, I think I'm going to add a little bit of color to my stem. And you'll start to see this middle section, how the marker is starting to kind of blend into the other sections of the paper, which is what we want. We're turning that marker into paint. If you want to add a background, you can add a background. So I think I'm going to do dots in my background. And it starts to kind of turn out to this pop art looking pumpkin. Beautiful. So that's my finished product. Obviously it is very wet right now, so I'm just gonna let it dry before I pick it up and touch it. And that is how we create our pumpkins. If you feel comfortable uploading to Art Sonia, you can upload your pumpkin pictures to Art Sonia. And if you want to take a picture and upload them to Seesaw, I'd love to see your artwork as well. Bye guys.